Hey, what's up everybody? I'm SuperSonicJB, and here we got some really completely random crap for Christmas as gifts. Like toilet trouble, for crying out loud. Who the heck wants this? That's why I'm starting my own business. It's selling the worst Christmas presents somebody could possibly get. We got underwear, we got tofu, we got the PSVita. The PlayStation Vita was Sony's second attempt in the handheld gaming market. It was released in December 2011 in Japan and February 2012 everywhere else. It was a follow-up to the PlayStation Portable, and it sold... okay. I wouldn't call it a failure, but it was released around the same time the 3DS came out, and that thing was outselling it big time. The main issues were the fact that the Vita was really overpriced, being around $250, and then there's the fact that there really wasn't a lot of games on it. It's like the Wii U, but with a side of Sony. Sure, it's a nice handheld and all, but there was just nothing released on it. I dare you to name a game more popular than Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed on it. Wow, that title's still a mouthful. Most of the games released on this console were JRPGs, and honestly, none of them really stood out in my opinion. That is until 2016, well, 2015 in Japan, there was this JRPG release called Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors that was released, and just from seeing the trailers alone, it was definitely a weird looking game. Now this was apparently a sequel to the 2010 game Criminal Girls on the PSP, and that game looks just as weird. Now why am I talking about this game, you may be asking? Well, I was on a mission to find a really weird PS Vita game to review. And since Divekick has been talked about a lot, I decided to play/review Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors. Hey, you can't have a party right now during a pandemic! Quick, call the governor! I'm honestly a little nervous to review this game because it's kind of an inappropriate game full of anime girls and fan service. But if I can review Girls X Battle 2 and still breathe, I'm sure I'll pull through. Also, I was debating on a video to make and pick this out of a hat, so oh well. But without any more stalling, here is Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors. Well, that sucked, but hey, look on the bright side. At least I can stay monetized, so that's a plus. Ah, fuck, this music is copyrighted. So this is Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors, and yes, the game opens up with a pretty good Japanese song. Sure, I can't speak Japanese, but at least the music means you feel happy. There's only two difficulties, casual and normal. I kinda wish there was a hard mode, but it's fine. I'm sure we'll find out what this motivation input selection means in the future. But in the meantime, I think in touch means getting motivation with violence, and key being my car keys. We start the game off with some random voice action if we can hear them. I'm sorry, I can't speak Japanese. So our character has woken up in an unknown location, and he's clearly losing his mind wearing that outfit. Turns out this voice lady is our senior officer named Toko, I think that's how it's pronounced, and they're speaking to us through a radio. She mentioned something about a reformation program and says that we're a program instructor and we need to pick up some delinquents. Unfortunately though, our character has lost his memory and only remembers his name. Which I named Shadow, cause he's always losing his memory, am I right?
It's the only thing I can remember. And that gruesome image.
We can ask the mysterious voice a question, but there was no is made as an instrument option, so I skipped it. So apparently we're in hell. Well, almost in hell. We're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. And we can't go back home until we finish our job as saving some delinquent girls who are said to be bad, but they have never committed an actual crime. A little judgmental there, but hey, I hated Mario's Time Machine and I never even played that game. Also, we need to climb some tower in order to leave this place, so that's cool, I guess. So we end up meeting all the girls. There's, and I'm sorry if I butcher any of these names, I apologize, Shinoa, Kuroi, Mizuki, Tsukasa,
Call me Sue.
Yurin, Sui, I don't know, and this really hot chick, Lily. And from the looks of it, I think it's pretty obvious who my favorite is. That's right, Shinoa! Also, this chick reminds me of a certain someone from Date Alive, just saying. We only managed to get half the girls to come with us because the other ones are lame, so we get to travel to the first level in the game called Cell Block 946. Ah, thank God. Now if it was Cell Block 945, we have a huge issue. And this is really where the game gets interesting. So the voice lady from the radio says the girls need some motivation in order to continue traveling, even though we only walked about 10 feet. So we end up playing this little minigame that's really not family friendly. These really weird motivation scenes are based around the idea, and this is a big word, sadomachoism, which is this right here, that I don't want to read out loud to you people. Basically, it's a really weird fetish slash kink that usually involves things like humiliation and torture. Why is this a thing in this game? I have no idea. In this minigame, we scrub one of the girls with a brush in the marked spots within the time limit until they are satisfied. We can use touch controls or use the buttons. Oh, so that's what that option meant before. I thought that was about keys or something. It's a very weird minigame, and you'll have to do it quite a lot in order to get the girl stronger in battle. Every time you level up a girl in motivation, you get an option to increase a girl's skill. So yeah, you definitely want to do this often, even if it makes you look like a total weirdo. After our first motivation session, we finally get to run around the map, and this game plays like a dungeon crawler with your party traveling across the multiple paths, finding treasure, and battling some enemies. Now the first area in the game is more so of a tutorial level than anything else, and it does go on for a bit longer than it should, but it does make sure to go over everything you need to know when playing. Our first enemy is this weird demon blob thing with teeth, and I find it hilarious how we managed to have a whole conversation before the monster even tried to attack. He must really not care that much, huh? So here's where the battle mechanic starts. And something to note here is the fact that the girls won't attack unless they feel motivated. If none of them feel motivated, they'll just sit there and die. I don't care if your tummy hurts, you're an attack already! Now once you complete a battle, you'll level up and get more CM, which you can use to motivate the girls more. So you'll definitely want to fight a lot of enemies. However, this game has random enemy encounters, and you all know how much I love those, right? It always feels like I get into a battle after every step I take, too. I mean, yes, you need to battle to get stronger, but wow, this game has more random enemy encounters than I've ever seen in a game ever. Now, there is an ability Lily can gain when she's reached a certain motivation level, where she scares out the enemies for a while, and wow, is it useful. I use it so much, I started doing it in real life.
Do you know who I am?
Later on, we end up reuniting with the Lane girls, and they're being attacked by a monster. So we end up beating it, and the other girls decide to join our party. Finally, we got the whole gang together. Now, I do want to mention the fact that you will be doing a lot of grinding in this game constantly. In fact, most of the game itself is grinding. You'll be fighting monsters 1 minute, then doing some motivation next, and there's some story here and there too. Now, in order to motivate the girls, you need to find these little safe spots on the map. You can also rest your party here too, kind of like the bonfires in Dark Souls, but with no fires. There's also a shop here, and you can save the game here. There's even some points where you can all split up, and you can talk to a girl one-on-one to learn some info about their backstory. I gotta say, I like this feature. It's nice to interact with my fellow waifus and Mizuki. We also learned this new technique called coaching. This new move allows us to encourage or discourage the girls, which can lead to temporary stat buffs and can raise their attack power or defense, etc. We end up running into another closed door. Unfortunately, there's no switch around to activate, so Lily, being the brave, dumb girl she is, pushes on the door that sounds the alarm, leading to a big ugly guard attacking us, trying to throw us into hell. So we end up fighting him, and honestly, he's pretty tough, so you pretty much have to coach the girls to get those stat buffs to beat him. Also, if you die, you have to start from the last 8 points, so have fun with that. Once you beat him and get them, you earn the Spanking X motivation? Okay. Yeah, so there are multiple ways to motivate the girls in this game. As you progress, you unlock some more, and the newer they are, the weirder they are too. So after the boss is being we receive another call from Togo, who says that there is an evil convict on the loose. And all the girls get suspicious, because they believe someone here in the party is the convict. Wow, so this is basically the game that inspired Among Us, wow! Then this random lady named Maya comes out and says she's also a program instructor rounding up convicts. According to her, our reformation program was only supposed to have 6 participants, but there's 7 of us here. Well, that's not good, but I think it's Kuroi, because she's the kid from Dead Alive, obviously. So she gets mad and sends us to hell, just to keep the convict from escaping. Wow, and I thought the enemies in this game were mean, but she takes the cake. So it's on to the second level / area in the game, Maze Hell. And after a lot of arguing, we run into the Grim Reaper himself, and battle to the death. Hey, I didn't mean it like that. Apparently you can't beat him, but thankfully, he runs away before you get to finish us off. After a bit of rest, we run into a new character named Henry, who loves to Watch people? Okay. Then Lily and her get into a real cat fight, and then she disappears. Man, what's with people in this game and disappearing? After running around some more, we notice that there are 2 urines now, but thankfully, Tsukasa was able to identify the real one. I may seem like I'm all over the place right now with this review, but so much is actually happening in the story that it's tough to actually follow along with sometimes. Now this is a bit random, but I just wanted to point out how weird this enemy looks. He looks like he's seen better days. Get it? Seen? Because he's got eyes everywhere? At least, I think those are eyes. Now this game keeps getting even more repetitive around this point. The game plays like this. Watch a cutscene, run around a level, fight some monsters, motivate, watch another cutscene, etc, etc, etc. And yeah, that gets really repetitive real fast. Now I will admit, as you level up, your motivation gets even better, with there even being an option to motivate 2 girls at a time, which is a big time saver. Still looks weird though. The next boss is a tree monster. At first I thought they brought Wispy Woods in this game, but nope, it's this ugly mess instead. And this boss is even harder than the last one. Seriously, the bosses in this game are ridiculously OP, and they can even wipe out your party members in one hit. Now I see why there is no hard mode in this game. The game itself is really hard. Thankfully it is pretty easy to get items in this game to heal and restore MP. Once bootleg Wispy Woods is defeated, we unlock, and this is gonna sound weird, the Slime Shot motivation. This one is one of the strangest ones so far, and it really shouldn't be shown to anyone who watches Barney. Henry appears, compliments our skills, disappears, and it's off to the next level, Hellfire. So basically Sonic Boom Land.
No more gods, no more graves. Are you friend or
No, but really, this area is no joke, so be prepared to die a lot. There's a lot of mini bosses guarding switches that you'll need to hit in order to progress, so be extra careful. Look at that horrifying face! Wait, are those flowers? Aw, how pretty. As you progress through the game, your relationship with the girls gets even better. They start to open up to you and tell you more about their past, which is pretty cool. In fact, their behavior towards you really starts to change as you continue. When you first start motivating them, they act heavily against it and feel quite embarrassed. But towards the end of the game, they love it big time. What the fuck am I doing with my life? So worst girl Mizuki runs away from the group, and we attempt to find her. After some more motivation, of course. Then we find her a little while later, and she's not happy because she feels useless to the group. Dang, Mizuki, I'm sorry you felt that way. See, this is what I get for calling her worst girl. When you take a break, the girls talk to you one-on-one, saying who they think is a convict. They all have different opinions, and it's honestly really hard to guess who it is. Which is good because it's supposed to be a mystery. The next boss is this weird fire goat monster thing, and just like the other bosses, he's really hard, so make sure you level up a ton before fighting him. And our next level is Bloody Hell, and wow, this is freaking creepy. There's freaking blood-stuffed animals on the ground everywhere! What is this game? After walking around a bit, we run into Henry again, but because of her antics, the groups get split up, and we get to take control of both groups one at a time as we explore this place. Nothing really too special here, but at least it changes up the gameplay a little bit. Of course, Henry tries to get us all to fight and blame each other for everything that's going wrong, but thankfully her plans fail and we all get reunited again. Now I just want to say that the story in this game is actually pretty good for the most part. All the characters are unique and each have their own time in the spotlight. Sure, there is no English dub in this game, which really sucks, but the voice actors here really did a great job of highlighting the characters' personalities. I'd love to talk about every detail in the story, but this game is way too long, and this video would last forever if I did that. Now another thing I want to talk about is the Girls' Wish event. These events happen when you set up camp, and there are these nice little bonding cutscenes. They're actually pretty entertaining to watch, and then they can lead to some minor stat buffs. However, they can also lead to stat drops. Sure, these are minor, but it can still be a little frustrating losing a whole point in MP. I also want to mention the music in this game. It's actually pretty decent. Sure, it can be really repetitive during battles and walking around the world, but I do like it for the most part. The music and the motivation scenes is strange, but it fits perfectly. So our next level is Memory Fragment. Yes, I know I didn't talk about the boss in the last area, but I didn't wanna.
Would you want to talk about this?
And this level is probably my favorite place in the entire game. It's this really creepy school-like area that goes on for a bit longer than it should, but it also contains sections revolving around each of the girls' backstories. One minute you'll be fighting Suka's inner demons, then you'll be learning about Mizuki's life with her grandmother. This whole school section is definitely the creepiest part of the game. Seeing the girl's shadow in this weird ghostly form and fighting them to the death just feels kinda creepy, to be honest. Although each of the girls is able to conquer their fears, and with the power of teamwork, they manage to escape from this awful place. But not before this ugly thing attacks. Kinda looks like my old English teacher. This is one of the hardest bosses in the entire game, because man is it hard to deal any damage on it. It can also deal a ton of damage on you, so you may want to swap out characters if necessary. Once we beat this stupid boss, the girls all get excited because they're getting closer and closer to reformation. But then Toko calls us up and says she's in danger because the convicts are running amok. Thankfully, all the girls want to help save her, so off we go to the next level, the secret area Girls Garden. Now, this is definitely the hardest area in the game, so prepare to rage. And get ready to buy a new PSVita after you break it one dying to a stupid looking enemy. Oh, who am I kidding? No one's gonna buy another PSVita. This is also the part in the story where the girls get their night forms. This happened in the original Criminal Girls game, and now it's returned in the sequel, which is pretty cool. It starts out with the two best girls, Shinoa and Lily, receiving it right when they're ambushed by some enemies. It's really awesome playing as the girls in night form because they do so much more damage, and their overall stats increase big time. But of course, they still argue afterwards. Girls, calm down, this isn't a competition for crying out loud. As you play along, the remaining girls awaken to their night forms. Except for Sui, and even the creepy doll thing has a night form. That's cute, I guess. Then we run into Maya again. Good to see you again, old friend. Thanks for dumbing us down in hell. We try and see if she knows where Toka is, but Maya says that there's nobody named that around here, and she says we've been lied to. But screw her, what does she know? She sent us to hell for crying out loud! But before we start searching for said liar, Sui steps up and admits she's the convict. Oh my god! But before Maya disposes of her, we all step in and stand up for her. And then Sui exposes Maya, because apparently she was Toko all along and was just using us as her puppets. Wow, there's a lot of plot twists here.
Here's a plot twist. I'm actually filming in my bathroom.
Maya manages to get ahead and sticks the Grim Reaper on us. Only this time, we're prepared because we know the Grim Reaper's one weakness is being called stupid.
You're stupid!
Oh, and also Henry teleporting him away. That works too. And yes, another plot twist happens here, with Henry revealing herself as the system manager, and she needs our help to take down Maya. In this part, we get to learn more about Maya's past. I won't go too far into it, but it's pretty interesting, not gonna lie. And yes, her boss battle is extremely hard, so get ready to die a ton. Once she's defeated, the tower is saved, and we get to choose who we want to come back to the real world with. Your decision here leads to multiple endings, all with you ending up with the girl you chose. Now, there's both a normal ending and a dating ending for each person. In normal, the girls go back to their old lives reformed, and the dating ones have you in their lives now. For Shinoa's ending, she's super happy now and is living life to the fullest with her friends. Lily is now working at a maid cafe, and her sister frequently visits her. Kuroi goes on a nice long field trip with her classmates and has the time of her life. Mizuki is reunited with her grandma, and she looks adorable. But it's still worse girl. Tsukasa is taking school seriously now, and is visiting her parents a lot now. Yurin becomes book smart and is trying to become a teacher. And Sui is enjoying herself at an amusement park with friends. Now those are all the normal endings, and the dating endings are pretty much the same thing, but with you kinda thrown in there. These endings are fine and all, but they felt too short and similar to one another. But thankfully, there was a true ending where you and all the girls stay and reform hell to make it a good place. This is the harem route, and the only way to get this ending is to complete all the girls' wishes, and there's 4 per girl, so it's pretty hard to accomplish, but it's kinda worth it in the end. It is pretty funny seeing all the girls fight over me, and the fact that we're changing hell is a pretty creative ending, not gonna lie. This is definitely the best ending in the entire game, so I recommend going for it. Plus, the artwork is amazing for crying out loud. And there you go, that's Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors.
So that was Criminal Girls 2 Party Favors. Overall, I'd say it was an alright game for the most part. I mean, sure, the gameplay was really repetitive and the grinding was a pain in the butt, but the story itself was really great, and I enjoyed the girls quite a lot. I really gotta say, the girls were definitely the best part of the game. I do definitely like the romance endings a lot more, and heck, if I actually moved into one of them, I'm sure I'd give them lots of toilet trouble.